Nicki Minaj and Cardi B have been beefing for years, but now the situation is getting serious. Nicki's husband already went to jail for catching a body, and now he's sending threats at Offset too. It was already messy, but now it's looking violent, and today we're breaking down the whole situation. A couple of weeks ago, Nicki Minaj's husband Kenneth Petty went live on IG with his goons looking for Offset. They were standing on the block at 4 in the morning sending death threats and saying they was gonna smack Cardi's teeth out, and nobody knew what sparked the issue. According to sources, it all started at the VMAs. It's not clear exactly what went down yet, but someone affiliated with Petty allegedly tried to press Cardi at the award show, and afterwards she tweeted, "I ain't even flinch." One of Petty's goons made a video later and said he ain't even know what the issue was about. According to him, they was having a good time at the award show, and Offset's the one who got pressed about something and started messaging him. He leaked the alleged DMs where Offset asked him where he's at. They went back and forth for a while, and Offset clowned him off for being broke and speaking on female business. Then Petty's homie clapped back at Offset for not taking out whoever killed Takeoff. Offset laughed off the whole thing and clowned Petty and his homies for standing outside while he's hopping off private jets, but the cops are taking the case way more seriously. Petty was already on probation for not registering as a sex offender when he moved to California with Nicki Minaj, and now he's on house arrest for 120 days for making threatening remarks toward a specific individual while in the company of someone with a criminal record. But there's a reason so many fans are worried he could get hurt or killed over the situation. Back in 2002, Petty rolled up on a guy named Lamont Robinson in Queens, New York. According to sources, Petty and some homies drove to where Lamont was and Petty hopped out to confront him. He walked across the street towards Lamont, then upped his strap and shot Lamont in the stomach 3 times. The cops knew it wasn't just a random killing, and before Lamont died, he picked Petty out of a photo lineup and confirmed he was the shooter. There ain't a lot of details out there about the case or why Petty wanted to take Lamont out, but an investigator told TMZ that it was all over some bullshit. Petty got hit with a second-degree murder charge at first, but he got a deal by pleading guilty to first-degree manslaughter instead. The judge hit him with a 10-year sentence, but he only had to serve 7 and came home in 2013. Nicki knew all about the murder and even rapped about it on the track Zannies and Fools, saying, "I met my husband when I was 17 out in Queens. If you love it, let it go. Now I know what that means. While he was up north for a body, I bodied everybody and got known for my body." That wasn't the only crime Petty went down for though. And around the same time he was dating Nicki in high school, he committed a brutal rape. In September 1994, a girl named Jennifer Huff was walking to school in South Jamaica, Queens, when Petty came up from behind her and pressed something into her back. Petty told her to keep walking, and Jennifer listened because she thought he had a gun. They walked a little ways down the street, and that's when Petty forced her into his house and started raping her. The first time she tried to run away, he pulled out a knife and held it to her stomach, but she finally managed to escape after hitting him in the head with a bottle. Jennifer ran straight to the police, and Petty got hit with first-degree attempted rape, second-degree assault, unlawful imprisonment, and weapon possession, but only served around 4 years for the crime. After it happened, Petty's parents tried to claim that he was dating Jennifer at the time, but that was all cap. When that ain't work, his homies in the street started threatening her family, and the situation got so bad that her aunt even took Jennifer to the courthouse to drop the charges. Jennifer ain't want to let him skate on the charges after what he did though, so instead she moved to Florida just to get out of the area and be safe. Nicki also lied and said that Jennifer was dating Perry when it happened, but what's really crazy is that Petty ain't even the only rapist she's been defending. After her older brother was arrested for raping his own stepdaughter when she was 11 years old, Nicki paid his bail and shouted him out on Instagram. His case was shocking and brutal, but Nicki still wanted him to be out on the streets. Luckily, he wasn't out for long though, and now he's serving 25 to life for the crimes. Being cool with rapists is bad enough, but Nicki allegedly took it even further and started harassing Jennifer Huff. According to a lawsuit, Nicki and Petty directly and indirectly intimidated and harassed and attempted to bribe Huff. In 2020, Petty was booked in California for not registering as a sex offender when he moved out there with Nicki. He pleaded guilty to the charge and was facing 10 years in prison, but the sentencing kept getting pushed back till last year when he finally got hit with 3 years of probation and a year of house arrest. After the arrest, Nicki, Petty, and a bunch of other people allegedly started tracking down Jennifer Huff to try and make her take back her rape accusations against him. According to Jennifer, a dude named Barry who she knew from back in the day reached out and put her in contact with Nicki. They talked on the phone for a little while, then a few days later, Jennifer's brother said someone in New York was offering her $500K if she would talk to Petty's lawyer. Nicki's publicist allegedly even flew out to Jennifer to talk about writing a statement, and ever since all of this started, she's been having to live in isolation because she's afraid of what Petty and his people might do. The Barry guy even showed up at her crib with $20K in cash for her if she would sign a statement taking back the rape accusation. She told him no, then her brother called again and said some OGs in their old neighborhood were working for Petty and knew where she lived. Jennifer had to move 2 more times because people affiliated with Nicki and Petty kept finding her. And at this point, it seems like she'll never be able to stop looking over her shoulder. After Petty got charged for the threats on Offset and Cardi, rumors started flying that they were the ones who reported him to the cops. Nicki even hopped on IG and said, "Can't call the cops every time you flop, just saying." But according to a court reporter, Petty's probation officer and judge didn't have any outside reports or complaints about the situation. Offset hasn't really said anything about what's going down. He allegedly checked Petty's homie in his DMs, but it's not clear if those messages are real or fake right now. If it starts to heat up with the New York Goons, he'll have to handle it somehow, but luckily nobody's been hurt yet. Quavo and him finally squashed their beef and linked up at the BET Awards to perform a Takeoff tribute, and the two of them together definitely have enough money and connections to sort out a few middle-aged goons from Queens. One thing's clear though, the beef between Cardi and Nicki ain't getting squashed anytime soon. It all allegedly started with Nicki's verse on the track No Flags where she rapped, "Lil' bitch, I heard these labels trying to make another me. Everything you gettin', lil' hoe, is cause of me. I heard I'm stopping bags, word to Shaggy, it wasn't me. These bitches is my sons, but they daddy ain't busting me." Nicki claimed it wasn't a shot at Cardi, but then Cardi had a show where she told the crowd, "You know this bitch, she never fucking liked me, and all of a sudden she wanna be friends with me. I still don't like you, bitch." Cardi blew up and started to outshine Nicki when she hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 with Bodak Yellow. At first, Nicki showed love on Twitter and everything seemed cool, but then it all really fell apart over the Migos track Motorsport. There was a lot of drama going on behind the scenes about Nicki's verse being changed because Cardi allegedly talked to the label about it and didn't want Nicki to name drop her. Nothing serious happened for a while and they were just throwing shade back and forth, but that all changed when they ran into each other during New York Fashion Week. According to Cardi, Nicki had been making comments about her parenting abilities, so it was on site that day. Cardi walked straight up to Nicki to confront her about it, and that's when all hell broke loose. Cardi allegedly threw a shoe and was trying to get at Nicki, but security jumped in immediately to hold her back. Nicki claimed she never talks about Cardi's kid or her parenting, but then she allegedly leaked Cardi's phone number to her fans so they could harass her. The last real shots anyone took before what's going on now is when Nicki hired 2 sisters named Jade and Batty G for a music video. Jade and Cardi had history and Jade was suing her at the time. The Migos had performed at a club where Jade worked and Cardi allegedly sent her crew to put hands on her because she thought Jade slept with Offset. They allegedly punched and hit her with an ashtray. Then they came back a couple weeks later and threw chairs at her and Batty. Then Nicki hopped on 6ix9ine's track Mama and sent a sneak diss when she rapped, "I was out in Spain rocking a Medusa head. I ain't never have to give a rap producer head." It was allegedly aimed at Cardi because there was rumors she hooked up with DJ Self when they were both on Love and Hip Hop. After that, the beef was quiet for years. The VMAs was the first thing they was at together since New York Fashion Week though, and it's clear that they never squashed anything. Now the situation is getting worse than ever, but hopefully it settles down before anyone gets hurt or killed. Tap in for updates though, because you never know when something crazy will break in a case like this.